Julia here. Today I'm going to be talking about choosing a genre for your book and some tips you might want to keep in mind when you're doing so. The genre you place your book in is going to give your readers an impression of your story, the age group, and the tone generally of what that book's going to be, so you really need to put a lot of thought into what you want to put your book under. Sometimes you know immediately what genre your book's going to be under. If there's fairies and dragons and stuff, it's most likely fantasy. If it takes place on the moon, it's probably sci-fi. But there's some times that the genre can be a little more difficult to pin down. I had a lot of problems, I wouldn't say problems, but I had a lot of difficulty trying to nail down the genre for The Scavenger and Missing Her because they didn't really fit into one category. The Scavenger had a coming-of-age story with these characters, there was a mystery going on, there were drug investigations, there was police there as well. So did I put it under crime? Did I put it under young adult, coming-of-age, mystery? There's some suspense in there. Is it a suspense story? So I kind of had to figure out what I was doing with that. So if you have your book basically drafted, or at least the vague outline of it, you're gonna want to think about what the tone of your book is. Now this is more for the age category first. So is your book for children? Is it for young adult, the 13 to 18 age group? There's a new category called new adult, which is college student level, a little bit into the young adult and a little outside of it. And then there's your adult regular category. So you're gonna want to think about, is there profanity in your book? Is there violence? Is there sexual references? And what the overall tone is of the book. Even though there's talk about marijuana use in The Scavenger, because it's used as a catalyst for the plot and not just for extracurricular purposes, I was still able to place it under young adult. So you want to think about that when you're choosing the age range for your story to make sure that it fits and that it's appropriate and you won't get complaints on what is in your book. Now, when you're getting down to the actual genre, I recommend starting from the top and working your way down. So is it fiction or nonfiction? Start from there. It's really helpful if you're publishing through Amazon because they actually have a full list of all the different types of genres. You can also look it up online and just find all the different things that you can place your book under. You want to choose a genre that is specific to your book, but not so specific that that no one's searching for it. And you don't want it too broad either, because then when people search your genre, there's going to be thousands and thousands of books to choose. So it's kind of something that you have to find in the middle and try to figure out something that's both broad enough that people will search for it, but specific enough that they'll find your book when they search for that genre. So for example, a genre that is too broad is young adult coming of age. So there are so many books that can be under. That could be fantasy, that could be fiction. It's just too broad. When people search that, it's not gonna come up. Something that might be too specific is vampire mermaids. So vampire dystopian could be a really good category because there are dystopian stories and there are vampire stories, but if someone's looking for something specific like dystopian vampires, I don't know how big of a category that is. You'll want to look at the hits and make sure that it's pretty good, but something like mermaid vampires, some people might not even think of to search of that. The best thing I can recommend that you do is go on Google and search your genre, your potential genre. So young adult, dystopian, psychological thriller, throw that into the search bar with book tagged on at the end and see if anything comes up. If there's a pretty good amount of books, check Amazon as well. See what comes up on Goodreads and all these different sites. See if there's a pretty good margin. If you're having trouble figuring out if it's too big or too small, look at some categories that you know are gonna have a lot of hits. So just search young adult dystopian and you'll see all the results that come from that, and then try to pick something that's kind of in the middle there. So that's all I have for you today. Do you have any tips when it comes to genre? Feel free to leave them below. I'd love to hear what you guys think on this topic. Just a reminder that tomorrow is the last day to sign up for Missing Her Street Team. Very exciting stuff. So if you want to learn more about what it means to be on a street team, and if you're interested in being on the street team, I'll attach that link up above, and I'll also have the link for the Google form down below. So make sure you fill that out if you're interested. I'd love having as many people on board as possible. If you would like a copy of my debut novel, The Scavenger, it is available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle editions. You can also buy a signed copy via my website, so I'll leave those links down below. Thank you for stopping by. Bye!